Thank you. Good afternoon. Okay, hacking happiness, let's get down to it. Who doesn't want to be happy? You're in the wrong place. Okay, the world is abundant, but overwhelmed. Affluent, yet desperately wanting more. Connected, yet starved for human interaction. This is the world that we live in. And I don't know about you, but it's not the world that I want. And that's why just on 5 years ago now, I made a choice. A choice to intentionally adapt, which is a term I'll explain in a moment. A choice to step off that busy hamster wheel that so many of us seem stuck on and create the space and skill to shape the future. Not only for me, but for this little guy, Sax. This is my 9-year-old son. I wanted to create a world where he and his little mates could thrive. And so I did something perhaps a little crazy. I took what looked like the seemingly perfect life and turned it completely upside down in pursuit of happiness. So for those of you wondering what that might look like, I left a 16-year career as an executive in a global giant at the top of my game as a female with high potential, which I always love that term because I've never met one with no potential. I relocated my family from Perth back to Melbourne, which is the equivalent of moving, say, from New York to LA. I left an 18-year relationship and started my own purpose-driven company, Be Kindred, all within 7 months. I then gave myself a crazy title, Happiness Hacker, which I made up, and I set myself a bold mission. A mission to teach 10 million humans by 2025 how to intentionally adapt in order to future-proof happiness. Because all I kept seeing was a world where so many, with so much, seemed so unhappy. I wanted to challenge the flawed societal definition of success and the angst and overwhelm that it seemed to be creating for so many of us. Now, it seems as though everyone at the moment is striving to be more efficient, have more convenience, and be more productive. But today I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to think, what if busy equaled bullshit? Now, it was not that long ago I was running a program that we've created with this exact name, the Busy Equals Bullshit Challenge, and I can't tell you how popular it is. Now, I decided the first time I ran it to ask people as they came into the room, tell me why you would come to a program with this name. We're talking professionals, executives in large corporations. One by one, their answers were the same. I'm feeling crazy busy, I'm often anxious, and I want you to teach me how to be more productive. Now, I was curious about the word productive. And so I said, let me just make sure I've got this right. Yeah? You're crazy busy, it's making you feel overwhelmed and anxious often, and you want me to teach you how to squeeze more into an already full day. To which they said yes. Welcome to the busy epidemic, my friends. This is a place where every waking moment is jam-packed. There is no space for stillness. This is a place where podcasts are played at 1.5 to 2 times the speed. Put your hand up if you're guilty of that one. Trying to squeeze that little bit more in. This is a place where sleep is restless. It is a place where creativity and innovation is stifled. Now, I thought it might be a bit of fun to test the level of busy in this room. So what I'm going to get you to do now, I'm going to go rogue and I'm going to jump off the stage. A bit random. That's what us Aussies do. And I'm going to get everyone to stand up. And now, this is not a hard task. It's probably the easiest thing you're going to do today. Now I want you to sit down if you have not used the word busy once in the last week. Uh-oh. If you've not used the word busy once in the last week. Okay. Now the first thing I want to tell you is you're not alone. Clearly. Okay? You are not alone because we've worked with busy professionals and 93% of them tell us that they use the word busy between 1 and 4 times a day. You can sit down. Thank you. And now I'm going to, not so graciously, climb back onto the stage. Now, 93%, 1 and 4 times a day. Today, what I want to challenge you to do, as we move through this conversation, I want you to ask yourself, that amount of busy in your life, using that word that frequently, how is that impacting your work and your effectiveness at work? How is that impacting your life? And I think most importantly, how is that level of busy impacting the relationships that you have? Now, what I find fascinating, and you've heard Peter speak about this earlier this week, is the irony of the busy epidemic is that it occurs at the most abundant time in history. Yeah? If we look to nearly every social indicator from infant mortality to poverty, through the declining costs of energy, communications, technology, we have never been better off. But I don't think you'll be surprised to find that there is a mindset disconnect, and it is significant. Because according to the brilliant research by Bobby Duffy in his excellent book, The Perils of Perception, which I highly recommend, because it's a book about humans and how wrong we are about so many things, and it's all research-based, less than 10% of us globally believe that the world is getting better. We have an abundance of accessibility and possibility. It has never been a better time to realise your big dreams for change. The access you have to resources and other people around the world is better than it has ever been. But at the same time, we have an abundance of overwhelm, a busy epidemic, and we are experiencing a significant decline in the mental health of humanity. Our focus on doing, I honestly believe, is compromising our state of being. Busy continues to hold us back as many of us unconsciously respond to distraction. And sadly, what I observe in my work with thousands in this space is that the things that truly matter and light us up as human beings are getting sidelined. And what does busy even mean? Seriously, what does it mean? The word contains no useful information. And interestingly, more often than not in my work, I have discovered that busy is code for something else. So ask yourself, the last time you used the word busy, what was the narrative in your head? What were the words that you were using? What was your busy really code for? Well, I thought I might share with you today some of the things that I've discovered busy is code for, and you're welcome to check these off if any of them resonate. Busy is an anxious trend, and more often than not, we have discovered that busy is code for anxiety. Now, what do we know about anxiety? Well, like busy, it's at epidemic proportions. And the next generation, who's got kids? Yeah, the next generation are the hardest hit. The level of anxiety and suicide in the next gen is beyond anything we've ever seen. The other thing that we know is that anxiety makes a lot of people a lot of money. In the US here alone, the US drug market for anxiety medication on its own by the year 2025 is set to be worth $7.5 billion a year. Where I come from in Australia, anxiety costs taxpayers $7.2 billion a year. Now, I was trying to find information out there, research out there that looked